Welcome to the Gym Success Podcast. Welcome to all of our listeners, whether you're a gym owner, a gym operator, a manager, a salesperson, a gym entrepreneur, or a personal trainer. We're so glad you're here. I'm Bonnie.
And I'm George, and today we'll be taking you through a truly crucial white paper by Jim titled, You'll Never Cut Your Way into Growth, a call to action for independent gym owners.
Yeah, and our goal is to provide you with really actionable insights from this paper.
Absolutely. And Jim Thomas, he kicks things off by challenging a really common assumption, doesn't he?
He really does. You know, when financial pressure hits, the first impulse for so many gym owners is just slash costs.
Right. It feels like the responsible thing to do. Tighten the belt, survive the storm.
Exactly. But he calls this a fundamental trap, particularly in the fitness world. He uses this brilliant analogy. It's like trying to build muscle by eating less and training less.
Huh? Yeah, that says it all. You'll end up shrinking, not growing.
It's a powerful way to set the stage for why just cutting isn't the answer for growth.
That analogy perfectly captures the core problem. What Jim Thomas really highlights here is that this idea of cutting to grow, it's not just like a financial mistake. It's often a strategic identity crisis for the gym.
An identity crisis? Interesting way to put it.
Well, yeah, because while that initial impulse to trim expenses might come from good intentions, right, it quickly slides into harming the very things that actually drive value in your business.
So you think you're being responsible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're actually undermining your foundation and maybe even who you are as a gym.
And he's incredibly specific about those negative impacts. He outlines, 5 key areas that get hit hard when you start cutting?
That's right.
First, he points out letting go of seasoned team members. That's huge, right? Losing all that experience.
Massive.
Then there's slashing marketing budgets, basically turning off your lights, becoming invisible.
Yep. Unplugging the open sign, as he puts it later.
Right. And then postponing repairs and upgrades,
Yeah.
trimming those services that actually attract and keep members.
Things people actually want.
And finally, reducing hours, which, directly lowers member engagement and just plain availability. It's like a downward spiral.
It is. And what's fascinating is that these aren't just like impersonal line item cuts on a spreadsheet.
No.
As the paper really emphasizes, these actions, they rob your gym of its essential energy, its infrastructure, its momentum, everything it needs to actually grow.
And critically, they send this really negative message, don't they, to members and staff?
Yeah, that unspoken message, we're in retreat. It creates this atmosphere of scarcity, of decline.
Which is the absolute opposite of what a vibrant gym should project. Imagine walking into a place that just feels like it's fading. Ugh.
It impacts everyone.
Ah.
And that's where Jim Thomas delivers this really powerful lesson.
Yeah, it's almost poetic. He says, you cannot shrink your way to significance. You cannot serve less and expect more. You cannot pull back and lead forward.
It's such a direct challenge to that fear-based instinct to pull back, isn't it?
Absolutely. It frames the whole issue from a place of proactive vision, not just reactive fear.
It does. And that lesson leads us right into his second major point, which is crucial. Growth comes from offense, not defense.
Ah, the sports analogy again. Makes sense.
He positions cost-cutting as purely defensive. But in business, like in sports, you just can't win if you're only trying not to lose.
Right.
To get real, sustainable growth, you have to be proactive. You have to play offense. It's about taking initiative, creating opportunities, investing in your future, not just reacting to today's cash flow crunch.
Okay, so what does that offensive strategy look like for a gym owner in the real world?
Well, the paper outlines these key actions for growth. It's all about forward momentum.
Like launching new programs?
Yeah, launching exciting new programs is part of it, but he also really emphasizes hiring the right people.
Not just the cheapest option?
Definitely not. It's about qualifications, sure. Also cultural fit, passion, someone who wants to serve members, building a team that really champions your brand.
Okay. What else?
And then crucially, running strategic, bold, and measurable marketing campaigns. Forget the, spray and pray stuff. This is about getting visible and bringing people in consistently.
And that ties into training your staff, right?
Yeah.
Making sure they can deliver.
World-class training, exactly. And enhancing every single touch point of the member journey, from that first phone call to their workout yesterday.
It sounds like a lot, but it makes sense.
And he gives a great case in point from the paper, too. He notes that post-pandemic,
Oh, yeah, I remember this part.
the gyms that bounced back fastest, they weren't the ones that cut everything and went dark, just trying to survive by doing nothing.
They were the opposite.
Right. They were the ones that leaned into visibility, invested in new experiences, gave people a compelling reason to show up.
It really proves that offense isn't just theory, it gets results. tangible results.
Precisely.
Okay, so if cutting is a trap and offense is the way, where do you even start? Jim Thomas is really clear on the non-negotiables, right? The areas you absolutely cannot cut if you want growth.
Yes, 3 critical areas. The first one, marketing and visibility.
Makes sense. I mean, what's the point of having the best gym if nobody knows it exists?
Exactly. He puts it so vividly. Cutting marketing is like unplugging your open sign. You just become invisible.
And then it doesn't matter how great you are.
Doesn't matter at all. You won't have anyone to serve. It's truly non-negotiable for bringing new people in and keeping that pipeline full.
Okay, so marketing's safe. What's number 2?
Staff and training. Jim Thomas says your staff is the gym's heartbeat.
That's a good way to put it.
Think about it. You start slashing their hours, or worse, you stop investing in their growth, their training. What happens immediately?
Morale tanks. Service quality drops. People probably start leaving members and staff.
Exactly. Your team isn't just a line item cost. They are your business, interacting with members daily. Their energy, their expertise. It's all crucial.
Okay, so protect the team. What's the third non-negotiable?
The member experience. This is the one that sometimes gets overlooked when panic sets in.
How is it?
Well, every little detail, a flickering light, a broken locker, an empty front desk, it all sends a message.
And usually not a good one, like this place is fading.
Precisely. But conversely, a gym that's consistently clean, vibrant, responsive, that creates what he calls raving fans.
It's about how members feel when they walk in.
Yes, which connects perfectly to his growth tip. Your brand isn't your logo. It's the feeling members get every time they walk in the door.
So don't let them feel neglected or like the place is falling apart.
Never. That feeling is everything.
Okay, so if deep, damaging cuts are out, what's the alternative? You can't just ignore financial pressure.
Right, and this is where Jim Thomas introduces a really smart philosophy. Cutting smart is good, but investing smart is better.
Okay, investing smart, what does that mean? Not just spending money blindly, I assume.
Not at all. It's about strategic, intelligent investment that actually yields returns. Planting seeds, like you said earlier, not just, hacking at the branches.
And he gets specific here, right? Like really specific, actionable strategies.
Very specific. For example, automating follow-up with CRM tools to convert more leads.
So a lead comes in, the system nurtures them automatically.
Exactly. Until your sales team can jump in personally, it closes more sales without adding tons of manual work. That's smart.
What else? Outsourcing leadership?
Yeah, outsourcing executive leadership, like a part-time CEO, COO, or sales director. You get top-level expertise and strategy without the full-time salary hit.
That's clever. Renegotiating contracts too, right?
Absolutely. Equipment, utilities, vendors. Just asking can often free up cash without cutting a single service people value.
It's amazing how often that works.
It really is.
And he keeps going with more smart investment ideas for actual growth, like accessing working capital.
Right, that readily available cash. Using it to maybe revamp the facility or do some serious team training or launch new programs, will bring people in.
Or that idea of pre-selling programs or memberships to fund upgrades before you launch. I love that.
It's brilliant, right? Like crowdfunding for your gym improvements.
Yeah. And finally, adding high margin services. Small group training, nutrition coaching, maybe online classes.
Things that directly generate more revenue per member or per hour and diversify your income streams.
So connecting this back, Jim Thomas isn't just saying spend money.
No, not at all. He frames these as growth investments. They're designed specifically to multiply your revenue, not just manage a budget line.
It's a totally different mindset, seeing spending as strategic seeding, not just a cost.
Fundamentally different. Building value, not just trying to conserve it.
Now, just to be clear, he isn't saying never cut anything, is he?
No, definitely not. He acknowledges there is a place for strategic cutting. The key, he says, is knowing where to do it.
It's about pruning wisely, removing the dead wood, not just hacking away. Surgical, not slash and burn.
That's a perfect way to put it. Surgical. So where are those areas for smart surgical cuts?
Well, the paper lists specific things to eliminate because they genuinely don't add value anymore, like canceling underused or redundant software.
Oh, yeah, we've all got those subscriptions we signed up for and barely use.
Totally. And eliminating non-performing ads or old, outdated print materials. Liquidating old inventory that's just gathering dust.
Makes sense. Get rid of the clutter. What about staff?
He does mention carefully reducing or restructuring underperforming staff positions, ones that just aren't contributing to the mission.
So strategic restructuring, not just across-the-board layoffs.
Exactly. And finally, retiring programs that just don't sell anymore or have lost their appeal, getting rid of dead weight that's actually draining resources.
Okay, that makes sense. Cut the things that aren't pulling their weight.
Right. And the crucial point here, as Jim stresses, is what you do with the savings.
Ah, yes. Don't just pocket it.
No. Every dollar saved from these smart cuts should be immediately redirected, reinvested into things that do produce revenue or improve service or expand visibility.
So it's not about hoarding cash. It's optimizing how you use your resources for active growth. Still an offensive move in a way.
It's a very different mindset, isn't it?
It really is. And all of this, it really boils down to one fundamental truth. The paper hammers home.
Yeah.
Growth requires a mindset shift.
That internal shift, he talks about survival mode.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're stuck in survival mode, your brain is just wired to protect. Hunker down, minimize risk, play it safe.
But you can't grow from there. You can't expand from a defensive crouch.
Exactly. You need to consciously shift your thinking from just protection to active expansion.
So how do you actually make that shift, especially when things feel tough?
Well, Jim Thomas gives us 5 critical questions to ask ourselves. Questions really designed to reframe our thinking.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, am I cutting out of fear or strategy? That's a huge differentiator right there.
Fear versus strategy. Okay.
Second, what's the long-term impact of what I'm cutting? Forces you to look beyond the immediate relief.
Think about the future health of the business. Good one.
Then he asks, could I generate more revenue instead of cutting? This pivots your focus entirely from scarcity to opportunity. Look for offense.
I like that. Generate, don't just eliminate. What's number 4?
What bold move would I make if I weren't afraid? That one really gets at overcoming that survival paralysis and thinking bigger.
Yeah, confronting the fear directly. And the last one.
Am I protecting a failing model or building a winning one? This challenges you to really assess your whole approach. Is it fundamentally sound for the future?
Wow. Those are deep questions. They force you to confront your real motivations.
They're meant to be catalysts for change. And Jim wraps this up with a statement that just ties it all together beautifully. Your mindset determines your methods, and your methods determine your momentum.
Mindset drives methods. Methods drive momentum. It really does start between the ears, doesn't it? How you choose to think about the challenges.
Absolutely. So if we boil down Jim Thomas's core message from this white paper, it's simply build, don't shrink.
Build, don't shrink. Simple, powerful, and it makes you think about why you even got into this business, right?
For sure.
You didn't get into fitness just to scrape by or survive. You came to make an impact, change lives, build something you're proud of.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't happen by default, and it definitely doesn't happen by cutting the corners that actually deliver value to your members.
Right.
It happens through smart, strategic investment.
Investment in your people, your processes, your presence, your purpose. It's not about spending recklessly, but as Jim Thomas lays out, it's about spending wisely on the right systems, the right people, the right strategies to actually grow.
Which brings us to his final, really provocative question for you, the listener, to think about today.
Yeah, this is a great one to end on. Are you playing to win or just playing not to lose?
Really reflect on that. Are your current strategies truly aligned with growth? Or are they, maybe inadvertently, keeping you stuck in that defensive posture?
It's a powerful question for any business owner.
Absolutely. And if you're listening and feeling maybe a bit unsure about where to invest or how to create that turnaround plan or just what the next steps are to really grow your gym, Jim Thomas is ready to help.
He really wants to help gym owners succeed. You can reach out to him directly.
Just give him a call at 214-629-7223.
Or you can send an email to jthomas@fmconsulting.net. Let's build something stronger together.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Gym Success Podcast. We hope this look into Jim Thomas's white paper gave you some truly actionable insights for your business.
Yeah, lots to think about.
Definitely. We'll catch you next time.